Next, on Currents News, a controversy growing. Governor Cuomo under fire as new allegations surface that the state knowingly withheld information, infuriating lawmakers.
This is a criminal cover-up.
The governor goes down to D.C. for his first face-to-face meeting with President Biden. Was the brewing crisis discussed? Plus, at the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue, the impeachment trial of former President Trump continues, the defense taking the floor. Then we'll shine a spotlight on some of the diocese's unique and mission-driven schools, all in celebration of Catholic Schools Week. The news starts right now. Hello, I'm Christine Persichetti. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo and his administration are facing new allegations over the COVID death tally in state nursing homes. And some members of the GOP are even calling for his resignation or impeachment. A leaked conversation with one of his top aides suggests that they withheld information in an effort to avert potential investigations. Currents News' Emily Druby has the details.
The New York State Senate announcing they want to strip Governor Andrew Cuomo of his pandemic emergency powers. Some GOP lawmakers even asking the governor to step down.
I've called for the governor to resign at this point because this is inexcusable. I mean, they purposely misled the public, and then they had a cover-up.
Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis and other lawmakers also asking for a federal investigation.
I believe that there is criminal wrongdoing here, and it needs to be thoroughly investigated by the Department of Justice.
Lawmakers and political watchdogs have been demanding the state release the nursing home death toll numbers, believing them to be higher than originally reported. The state health department dragging its feet for months, only releasing the numbers after pressure from a scathing report by the New York's Attorney General and a state Supreme Court ruling forced their hand. In the past, they've claimed they were getting the data together. Now, Cuomo's top aide, Melissa DeRosa, has admitted they purposely withheld the numbers. On a private phone call with lawmakers, DeRosa said after being asked last summer for the information by the Trump administration's Department of Justice, quote, basically we froze, adding they were afraid that the numbers would be used against us. Bill Hammond of the Empire Center for Public Policy was part of the lawsuit that forced the release of data.
I mean, it confirmed actually some of our worst suspicions about what was going on. They were claiming that it was taking so long for them to release this data because they were worried about its accuracy, and they were reconciling it and they were auditing it. And in fact, they were deliberately sitting on it because they were concerned about the political implications.
Since the state began including COVID death totals that happened outside of elderly care facilities like a hospital, the number has skyrocketed from around 9,000 to 15,000. Emily Druby, Currents News.
Records obtained by the Associated Press also show that more than 9,000 recovering COVID patients were released back into nursing homes during the early stages of the pandemic in a directive by the Cuomo administration. That number is 40% higher than previously released. As the fallout continues, Governor Cuomo headed down to Washington on Friday for a pre-scheduled meeting with President Biden to discuss COVID relief and ongoing vaccination efforts. The Oval Office meeting was attended by a bipartisan group of mayors and other governors, as well as the vice president. It was Cuomo's first in-person meeting with the president since he took office. No word on whether the nursing home controversy was addressed. From the Oval Office to the Senate floor, day 4 in the impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump. The defense team taking their turn to argue the constitutionality of the trial and issues of free speech.
The article of impeachment now before the Senate is an unjust and blatantly unconstitutional act of political vengeance.
After they concluded their arguments, senators had the chance to ask questions by submitting them on a card like this one, because they're not allowed to speak during the proceedings. Trump is widely expected to be acquitted. A vote could happen as early as this weekend. Now for the rest of the newscast, just as we've been doing all week, we're going to highlight the excellence of a Catholic education in honor of Catholic Schools Week. But at St. Saviour's Catholic Academy, they're turning the spotlight over to the true heroes of the pandemic, healthcare workers on the front line. Emily Druby reports on the tribute in Park Slope, Brooklyn.
There's new artwork hanging on the side of St. Saviour Catholic Academy. Portraits of healthcare workers, a symbol of the school's commitment to their Park Slope community. The idea transforming an act of hate done to art originally on display outside of New York Presbyterian Brooklyn Methodist Hospital.
There was a mural hanging up. It had been defaced by someone.
Cruel words scribbled across what was supposed to be a beautiful symbol of thanks. A parent alerted Principal Susan Walsh to the vandalism, suggesting maybe the students could fix it.
We thought about it for a little bit, and we didn't want to kind of interfere with the integrity of the artist's work. And so we thought we would maybe do our own take on a thank you artwork.
So they did come up with their own take. The artist of the original pieces has since fixed some of his work, but the giant thanks that accompanies them remains tarnished, its future uncertain. But these new pieces are a symbol of thanks and support.
We have the children's artwork as just another way to bring kind of a positive spirit as people in our neighborhood are walking by.
Also creating and displaying this inspirational word garden.
I'm thankful for them, and I am glad they are working so hard for our country.
The school hopes that because of their close proximity to the hospital, the pieces will greet healthcare heroes on their way to work. How do you think they're going to feel?
I think they're going to feel excited and awesome.
The gesture is part of a larger lesson, one important to Catholic education.
As Catholics and as Catholic children, we want to show people how much we really care. And so we're showing them through our words and our actions.
Showcasing their Catholic values by bringing light and positivity to the neighborhood. In Park Slope, Brooklyn, Emily Druby, Currents News.
And over at Bay Ridge Catholic Academy, students are showing support to the first responders who serve the community.
So I'm impressed that my mom was a cop, because it's pretty hard to be one, and I'm impressed that she fought for her life to do that just for us.
Heroes for Heroes is Bay Ridge Catholic's way of honoring the service of school families, providing a lunch and certificate to the family heroes who have served in the armed forces, as a first responder, or as a medical worker. But in the Diocese of Brooklyn, frontline workers aren't the only ones helping those in need. Emily Espinal has only worked at St. Joseph the Worker Catholic Academy for a year. But when tragedy struck at home, her school family rallied behind her. Currents News' Emily Druby has her story from Windsor Terrace.
I want you to make a list.
Teacher Emily Espinal is part of the St. Joseph the Worker Catholic Academy family.
Yes, Christian.
And when disaster struck her family, she learned the true meaning of that.
It was unbelievable the way the community of this school came together.
On January 3rd, Emily was awakened by a fire at her neighbor's home. She ran to get her daughter.
I'm carrying her out with her boots in one hand and her coat in another. And the window exploded.
They just made it out, but by then the fire had jumped to their home. It's still hard to talk about.
It was horrible because it was literally a few days. She had just opened all of her brand new Christmas gifts. And it was really sad. Sorry.
The damage was bad. Everything her daughter owned was gone. The home also needed extensive repairs.
There was shards of glass just everywhere. The water damaged her mattress.
Still, just days later, Emily was back in the classroom, a dedication to her students that doesn't go unnoticed. They sing her praises.
If there's a hard equation, she can make it fun.
After hearing about the fire, her class parent jumped in to help, enlisting the school's principal.
I reached out to Ms. German about creating a fundraiser, and that's when we put together a letter to the school
asking the community for donations.
My first initial thoughts were basically, how can we help? This is someone we care about. This is someone who's shown a lot of care for my child.
They replaced everything, even raising enough money to get renovations started.
Thank you, everybody, St. Joseph.
I was blown away.
But material items weren't the only things lost. Her daughter Mia was still struggling with the trauma.
She hasn't been wanting to like be by windows lately. Like, she's real shaken up about it.
So one of her students' parents, a lieutenant at Engine 284, Ladder 149 in Diker Heights, invited both Mia and her little brother Eli to the firehouse.
You want the helmet too?
To try and help ease those fears, and it worked.
That evening was one of the first nights that Mia actually, slept through the night.
It's a long process, but they're finally on the mend with a little help from her Catholic Academy family. In Windsor Terrace, Brooklyn, Emily Druby, Currents News.
Still to come on Currents News, another story of survival. A school that was supposed to close reinvents itself. Then we talk about the benefits of a Catholic education and this week of renewal with Monsignor Casado. And the Bishop of Brooklyn joins in on the fun as he makes virtual visits to classrooms across the diocese.
Starting February 15th, changes are coming to the tablet website. You can get personalized access to the Catholic news you value. Sign up for free at thetablet.org.
For Catholic schools in the Diocese of Brooklyn, it's the year of renewal, and St. Mels Catholic Academy in Flushing is taking that sentiment to new heights, working to rebuild the school they thought would be closed forever. Currents News' Jessica Easthope has the story from Flushing.
She's an artiste, right?
At St. Mels Catholic Academy in Flushing, students celebrated Career Day as part of Catholic Schools Week.
I looked for bones.
It's clear they have high hopes.
A teacher!
And at this age, the future of their school is key.
Our faith is based on renewal and rebirth, and that's what we focused on for this coming year.
Principal Amy Barron has had a roller coaster of a year. At the end of her first as principal of St. Mels, she was told the school and 5 others in the Diocese of Brooklyn would be closing. But then the school was given a second chance to reimagine itself as an early childhood center for students in nursery school through 3rd grade.
And when our parents and our teachers and our students work together, our students are succeeding. And that's what we're seeing right now.
It was breakfast time.
This year, St. Mels even gave its students new tools to succeed, like a playground and a piano lab. Features the administration hopes will attract more families.
A new beginning here that we don't take for granted, and we know that we have to not go too fast, but to always trust in God first and foremost.
3, 4, 5.
The school is looking to tack on a new grade at the end of every year, but the ultimate dream, though slow going, is powerful.
My ultimate dream is to be able to hand them their diploma from St. Mels Catholic Academy as they graduate in 8th grade.
That's good news for parents like Josephine Del Greco, who feared the worst this past summer.
I got the news and it felt as if a family member had died. This is home away from home.
What are you today?
A doctor.
Now she's thrilled to have her daughters and her faith back in St. Mels.
We were reborn into an early childhood center, and we're going to thrive from that, and we're going to rebuild from that.
When it comes to rebirth and renewal, there's no better example than St. Mels. A second chance they're not taking for granted. In Flushing, Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
As public schools throughout the country have been opening and closing during this pandemic, Catholic schools have remained strong, providing students with safe in-person learning that is the best money can buy. On Thursday, I spoke with the vicar for Catholic schools, Monsignor David Casado, and asked him how the academies were able to keep the classes up and running.
God's help and a lot of work on the part of our faculty, administrators, and all of us. I mean, it really was a whole lot of work. But I got to tell you a great story. The other day, I went into the 2nd grade in my school, and they celebrated 100 days of school. We've had 100 days of school. Can you imagine? People are still trying to open schools.
Right.
We've celebrated 100 days of being open. And what a great tribute to the principals, the faculty, the teachers, and the kids and their parents. Right. Parents have trusted us and have come and have really done a wonderful job. The kids, I love the kids. I see them these past few days with the snow, they haven't been in the schoolyard, but it's been a wonderful experience, Christine.
Now I have to talk about the latest numbers from the diocese show 40% of our schools have either stabilized or increased their student populations this year. So why do you think that is, and how's enrollment looking for next year?
Well, the most important part is that we're open.
Yeah.
And that we're open and people are looking to put their kids in school. So I encourage every Sunday, enroll your kids in Catholic schools. There are some parishes or some schools, academies, that have waiting lists.
Right.
And isn't that a wonderful headache? A waiting list.
It's a problem you want to have.
I would love to have more of those.
So the diocese has declared 2021 as a year of renewal. What does this mean for students in our Catholic schools?
Well, I think basically we have a gem in Catholic education. We have a gem, and our schools teach values, teach faith, teach religion, teach respect, teach love. And we need to get that message out.
So, as you know, I went to St. Rita's for elementary school.
I remember?
I went to St. Francis Prep for high school. So I truly believe it made me a better person to go to Catholic schools here in the Diocese of Brooklyn. So I see you put out a call on social media asking graduates of Catholic schools to share their experiences. Why?
To tell their story, to bring that message out to others. Because today it costs money. It's, you know, it might be not as simple as it was when I went or when you went, and to bring that message out, let other people know the whole beauty, the story of the value of Catholic education. I would put my own vocation on the Catholic school that I went to when I was a kid.
Wow.
And I would say we need to work on religious vocations, and this Catholic school is the growth of a vocation.
Again, that was Monsignor David Casado, the vicar for Catholic schools. Bishop Nicholas DiMarzio is also highlighting the importance of a solid Catholic education. This week, he made virtual visits to classrooms around the diocese. One stop was to St. Stanislaus Kostka Catholic Academy in Maspeth on Wednesday. Each student got the chance to ask the bishop a question, but one in particular allowed them to see a new side of the bishop.
What are some of your hobbies?
What I like to do in my free time is cook. I like to cook because I like to eat. And also I have a hobby of gardening. When we ordained a new priest every year, I give them a plant that I grow. It's called the Crown of Thorns plant. It used to belong to my grandmother.
Bishop DiMarzio also answered questions such as, do miracles still happen today? And who could be the next Bishop of Brooklyn? All very insightful questions. Still to come on Currents News, kids getting creative with coding at St. Bridget's, using technology to prepare students for the future. Do you have a story idea or want to share a tip? Email us at newstips@desalesmedia.org or call our 24-hour number, 718-517-3122. We'll be right back. Students at one Catholic school in Brooklyn are coding their way into the future. Experts say it helps with everything from creativity and math to communication and confidence. Currents News' Emily Drewby has the story from Bushwick.
Is there like a prize at the end?
Most kids play games. Ellie Perez builds them.
I'm proud of it. I like to see people enjoy the game that I make.
From rescuing gifts from the Grinch to escaping a timed maze, Ellie thought up, designed, drew out, and coded these games into existence.
I feel like through my coding, I could express myself, my creativity, and it just helps me relax.
Ellie learned how to do this at St. Bridget, St. Francis Cabrini Catholic Academy in Bushwick, and she's not the only one. The idea came from math and technology teacher Jose Martinez. He wanted to bring coding to the school, but he knew he needed to find a way to make it interesting to his young students.
I know they play games. I thought that making games is something that could really get them excited.
For years, educators have pushed to teach coding in schools, saying it improves problem solving and logical thinking. It has become an important skill in the job market, and it pays. One study found jobs that use coding skills pay an average of $22,000 more a year. Nonprofit Code.org says while 90% of parents want their kids to study computer science, only about 47% of high schools actually teach it, putting St. Bridget, a nursery through 8th grade school, ahead of the curve.
Well, I'm thinking about their future, so I want them to get the most out of the school that they can get. Yeah, and I want them to have good memories. I want them to remember, the fun they had here.
Through this problem, students not only build the games, but publish them for anyone to play. The code is even made public, helping other students learn. Ellie will continue coding, now a beloved hobby, and Jose says he plans to grow the program next year. Emily Druby, Currents News.
The Tablet, DeSales Media's newspaper, is adding a new online feature that's going to offer a personal touch to their readers. Currents News' Jessica Easthope explains.
A new personalized experience on the Tablet website will soon be up and running. With a free login that requires just a name and email, DeSales Media Group's newspaper will be allowing readers to customize, filtering out what they don't want and getting access to more of what they do, like exclusive articles, features, columns, as well as the Tablet's online archive.
This is a way for us to connect with them a little bit more and for them to connect with us and personalize the experience so that they get the information and news that they want when they want it. There's a few questions.
Vito Formica, the executive director of news content and development for DeSales Media Group, the Tablet's parent company, says the feature is the latest way DeSales is reaching out to readers.
At the end of the day, our mission is to evangelize, and we use all of our platforms at DeSales within the news department, television, newspaper, print, digital, to reach our audience.
Improving communication is at the top of the list of priorities for DeSales Media's digital team. Tablet readers will now be able to tailor the surge of news and information without slowing it down.
Because the tablet produces so much content and a broad interest, what we're trying to do is help the readers find the most valuable information most quickly.
Readers who don't sign up will still be able to view the tablet.org, and it will still be free. The login feature is being rolled out on February 15th.
This is what your profile page would look like.
And starting then, when readers click on certain content, they'll be prompted to create a login.
The way this whole system works is, right, so if you're a visitor to the tablet website, a regular visitor to the tablet website, and you log in and you create this profile, the more that you read, like, rate, and save articles, the more tailored your experience is going to become.
And for readers who still like the feeling of a newspaper in their hands, the print version of the tablet will have more content than what's online. And subscribing is a great way to support our mission. Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
Make sure you mark the date, February 15th, so you can sign up for exclusive tablet content. All you'll have to do is just head over to the tablet website at thetablet.org. And again, starting this Monday, February 15th, you'll be able to sign up for customized and exclusive content. And finally tonight, more exciting news from the tablet. An amazing display of a tablet newspaper centerfold is highlighting the efforts of Brooklyn's own Bishop Francis Ford. One of the life-sized exhibits is at St. Michael's Church in Flushing, Queens, where the display is already getting words of praise.
This is an incredible gift, absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much. Wonderful, wonderful work of DeSales and the tablet. God bless you all. Keep it up.
The centerfold looks at the life and work of Bishop Ford. The Diocese of Brooklyn is currently working to help make him a saint. If you'd like to join that cause, just go to thetablet.org and search for the Bishop Ford Guild. And that is Currents News. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.